We are hearing more stories of courage and bravery during what was the worst terror attack on Australian soil. The couple, Boris and Sophia Gurman, were likely the first victims of this massacre, as dashcam footage shows them fighting the alleged shooters trying to stop them. They died as heroes, as did many, if not all, of the innocent Australians who were murdered at Bondi Beach. As more details emerge about those who were desperately doing everything that they could to protect their family and protect others as they were being gunned down. We will never forget the victims, the people who were killed. Boris and Sophia Gurman, Edith Brutman, Reuven Morrison, Marika Pogane, Dan Ikaam, Rabbi Eli Schlanger, Yakov Levitin, Peter Ma, Alex Kleitman, Tibor Witzen, and 10-year-old Matilda, and 3 others who are yet to be identified. Matilda's family says that she was given that name, Matilda, because it was the most Australian name that could exist.
I'm Matilda's mom, and as Michael said, we came from Ukraine. I brought from Ukraine my oldest son, Hakim, and I was so happy that he's not there right now. He's not fighting for his land, and he's safe here. And I couldn't imagine I will lose my daughter here. It's just a nightmare. And I want to say you one more thing that sits in my head. I don't know if you are ready to hear it or not, but I can't imagine what's the monster was standing on that bridge and seeing little girl running for her father to hide with him, and he just pulled his trigger on her. I don't know. It wasn't just a bullet from a spray. It wasn't an accident. It was a bullet just was fired on her. Sorry if I disturbed someone. I didn't want to do that, but it just stays here and here.
Right now, we are coming to terms with the dark reality of what we have just suffered. Alleged radicalised Islamist terrorists turning our beautiful Bondi Beach into a killing field, killing our people, our friends, terrorising our community. And sadly, I'm yet to speak to a Jewish Australian who is surprised. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese continues to miss the mark. Not only has he allowed anti-Semitism to fester in the disgusting way that it has here, it's been revealed that during his crisis meeting in the wake of this attack, it was state leaders, not him, that had to push for action, not words, but action that needs to be taken to stamp out Jew hatred in this country. Action that was needed a bloody long time ago. The daughter of Reuven Morrison, Sheena Gutnick, has released a scathing statement saying, "My father is dead because those in power chose inaction." We know the warnings were there. Jews were living in an anti-Semitic environment. The calls to globalise the Intifada were chanted loudly on the streets for more than 2 years, and today funerals are being held for killed Australians because Australia, that was once a safe place for Jews, is no longer a safe place for Jews. And yet it seems Anthony Albanese still does not get this. He is turning almost his entire focus now to gun control.
Consideration that will take place includes limiting the number of guns an individual can own, the type of guns that are legal, whether gun ownership should require Australian citizenship, and accelerating work on the National Firearms Register.
Gun control, sure, that can be part of this response, but that does not go to the heart of the problem here. Gun control is not what will stamp out Jew hate, nor will it stop this sick, hateful, dangerous ideology that is here now, which is radical Islam. And to be crystal clear, I am talking about radical Islam, something that the majority of Muslims do not support. It is this ideology that inspired these sick men, this father and son duo, had Islamic State flags draped over their cars. IEDs were found in their cars too, and they had just spent 4 weeks in the Philippines, a hotspot for Islamic terror, when they reportedly had terror training before they returned to our country to murder our friends in our backyard. And we only need to look around the world to see the horror that this extremist ideology has caused. Look at Europe. Last week in Germany, authorities arrested 5 men on suspicion of an Islamist plot to plough a car into people at a Christmas market. Just a few months ago in the UK, Islamist terrorists killed 3 people outside a synagogue in Manchester on the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur. And in Australia, it is here. Alleged radical Islamist terrorists have killed 15 innocent Australians. And there are genuine fears in the community that we do not know how many others are radicalised. Here is New South Wales Premier Chris Minns being asked that very question.
But isn't the issue that we do have pockets of Islamic radicalisation in Western Sydney communities and we don't know the extent of this?
That may well be the case. I mean, I couldn't hand on heart give you an assurance that there wasn't active investigations, active inquiries, huge concern, suspicions by law enforcement about what's happening in certain communities. I mean, we do need to let the police do their job. It's my job to give them the resources and in some cases the legislative backing so that they can keep the community safe, and I'm committed to doing it.
The issue is you want the Jewish community to feel safe to go out in public in this country, in your state. But when you don't know the extent of the problem, when you don't know how many people have been radicalised, how can you give that guarantee to Jewish Australians? Don't you need to get to the bottom of the issue first, examine what's happening in institutions where there are hate preachers, what messages they're sending?
I mean, you're right, but I don't think any Premier or any leader could hand on heart say, no, I'm confident that there's no extremism or that there's not radicalisation, and I can't give that commitment. I give anything to give that commitment, but I can't do it.
Now, I think it's fair to say that New South Wales Premier Chris Minns has consistently shown solidarity with the Jewish community, but at a federal level, where the heck is the leadership? Anthony Albanese barely wants to mention radical Islam, which is at the heart of this, or the genuine concerns about the people who have come to Australia with no intention of assimilating or adopting Australian values. Anthony Albanese is an idiot if he thinks Australians are going to put up with his weak response. Sure, gun control should absolutely be part of this response, but it cannot end there. Former Prime Minister John Howard, the man who introduced Australia's world-famous 1996 gun laws after the Port Arthur shooting, said it best, that the focus of guns should not be used to avoid the broader issue of hate that is here.
But I do not want this debate post this horrible event to be used, the focus on guns to be used as a pretext to avoid the broader debate about the spread of hatred of Jewish people and anti-Semitism.